Let me share my journey with you on how I went from this size to this size. She's definitely been on Ozempic. Well, she's totally had a gastric sleeve. Let's get to the truth. You may want to grab some popcorn because this is going to be a long video. I've lost 85 pounds in 7 years, and I'm going to tell you exactly how I did it. And the cool thing about social media is that for you guys that have followed me, have kind of seen part of my journey. I've been on this platform since 2021, and this is me at that time when I started my social media journey. I like to get wild in the comment section, and I want to clarify everything because I've been nothing but open and honest on my platform about every part of my journey. You can absolutely not hide anything on here, and I don't really understand the point of that because if we share our experiences with others, it can only help people. And what's the big secret? There should be no shame in no matter what we do to help benefit ourselves. We're gonna throw this back to when it all started, but I want to make sure that I point out that I was just as happy in these pictures that I am right now. There's no shame in anybody's body type. I have been heavy my entire adult life. High school, college, medical school, residency, I use food to compensate for my stress. And training to be a neurosurgeon is, well, incredibly stressful. I met my husband in residency and he loved me for who I am. This man right here has only been supportive in every stage of my life. I started my career as a neurosurgeon in 2013. And yeah, this is Red Food. We saw him at LAX. We had our first child, Riley, in 2015. And after giving birth to him, I was the heaviest that I have been in my entire adult life. When he was 3 months old, right in this picture, I bent over to wipe something out of his bassinet and herniated a disc in my back. I'm a literal spine surgeon and I treat people for this every day, and I became the patient. I went through physical therapy and treatment for my back, and I realized that in that moment in time that I had to lose weight or my health was going to suffer. I know what people go through with back issues, and I did not want to let that define me or my future. So I started my weight loss journey. I've always worked out, I've always been athletic, and I've always been overweight. So I knew it wasn't just about the exercise. I'm a literal doctor and I knew nothing about how to lose weight. So I went through fad diet after fad diet after fad diet, and I lost a little bit of weight. And I was doing better, but I got pregnant again. She was super cute, so it was totally worth it. And yes, she had fantastic hair as a baby. We'll have to save that for another video. During my whole pregnancy, I had increasing back pain, and I knew as soon as I had her, I was going to have to change my life. So I've talked about this in other videos, but I read 2 books that were monumental in my health journey. I was perusing through some social media and I started reading a book called Delay, Don't Deny, A Guide to Intermittent Fasting. In that book, they talked to reference this other book called The Obesity Code by Jason Fung. That book explained more to me about nutrition than what I have learned in my entire career as a physician. I used resources and references in that book to help learn more about nutrition because let's be honest, medical school does not teach us any of that. Also got a Peloton in 2018 to keep me honest on my workout routine with something that I could do at home. At this time, I have 2 little kids, a full-time job as a neurosurgeon, and minimal time for myself. So I started working out more consistently at home using my Peloton and also started intermittent fasting. And the weight started coming off. Did this consistently and religiously for about a year, and I lost 50 pounds. And this is what a woman looks like that's had 2 kids and struggled with their weight their whole life. Do you think that I can make all this just magically go away? The answer is no, you can't make all that skin just magically go away. So I had a mommy makeover in 2019, and this is about 2 months after that surgery. That surgery really transformed my life. Gave me so much confidence. It gave me so much empowerment over my body. And for any woman that's considering this type of surgery, please don't discount what anyone thinks about you having this surgery. It completely made me a new person. And I've done some videos about my experience with this procedure. And I did really good after this surgery. Then one of my dogs tragically passed away, and I went back to my old eating habits, and this is me in 2021. And I could have given up at that time and went back to all my old habits, and I did for a few months, but I realized that I have got to get back to it. I did it before. I've done good. It's about consistency and dedication, because those two things together will create change, and change does not happen overnight. I went back to my cardio workouts. I went back to my intermittent fasting, and I switched to a low-carb diet and even did the ketogenic diet for about 6 months, and I got to where I was here in 2022. Here is an actual video of me at that time explaining my weight loss journey today. I was happy, and I was working out, and I was eating the right things, but I still had about 30 pounds that I wanted to lose. And no matter what I did, I could not shake that weight. It was January 2023, and I still had about 30 to 40 pounds to lose, and I just signed up to do a Dance for a Cause competition. I was going to be dancing in front of hundreds of people, and I wanted to look good. So I talked to my doctor about GLP-1 medications, aka Ozempic or Mounjaro. This was right at the beginning of when those medicines became popularized. So after talking to her, I started Mounjaro. I took that medication from January to August of 2023 and lost the weight. I lost 30 pounds, and I also raised $90,000 and won Dancing for a Cause. And I thought this medication was life-changing. And it is. I don't want to discount that. It changed my relationship with food. It completely disconnected the mental attachment that I had with food, and I thought about food completely differently after being on that medication. Food then became nourishment and not really for stress. The weight came off, and I felt really good. But do you know what happened? I didn't have to exercise anymore. I didn't have to lift weights. I did absolutely nothing, and the weight still came off. Then I went on a trip with my husband, and I almost could not lift my luggage into the overhead compartment. Since I became so accustomed to not eating, I became almost malnourished, and all my muscle weight went away. I was no longer strong like I had been my entire life. Decided it was time for another change. If you're following along with me, I've done a lot of different strategies to try to lose weight. So what can I do differently this time to keep the weight off when I'm not taking that medication, but also get strong? Number one, I stopped taking the medication. Number two, I talked to a colleague of mine that I've been following on social media, and I was completely admirable of her fitness routine. I asked her, how do you do it? So she shared with me her journey of counting macros and being very strict about her exercise routine. Over the past 4 months, I've started doing just that. And this is probably the hardest part of my journey. I count my macros, I log my food, I know how much protein, how much carbs, and how much fat is in every single thing that goes into my mouth. I keep it exactly where it needs to be so I can achieve the results that I want. So now I can strictly gauge my input and compare that to my output to get results. Yes, I weigh my food. Yes, I meal prep. And yes, I have a strict exercise regimen that I am keeping. I lift 5 days a week, and I do cardio once or twice a week. That consistency has paid off to where I want to be right now. I'm still changing things, and I'm still working because I still want to be better. All those haters out there that want to think that they know how exactly I did it, there you go. There's my 10-minute explanation of how I have lost almost 85 pounds in 7 years. It's not easy. It's about consistency. It's about being passionate. And yes, you will have ups and downs, but if you know where you want to be in the long term and make those steady changes, you can make a difference for you. And the biggest thing is it's got to be for you to make yourself